when is a good time to take the SAT, and also like what is the range of scores if you guys are comfortable like sharing your scores? Um, what is the range of scores that I need to get to be like a competitive applicant?
So this is a complex question, and I'm sorry that there's not really a like straightforward answer, because if I gave you a straightforward answer, I wouldn't be doing justice to this. Um, First off, this would depends on what your home school is and what district you are belonging to when you're applying. What NCSSM does, and I'm pretty sure Parker earlier in the webinar referenced this, they compare your SAT or ACT score to your home school. And obviously, this doesn't apply to anybody applying this year because they already stated that they're not, doing standardized scores. But this is for the eighth and ninth graders right now. They compare your test scores to your home school to see how you are in relation to them. So that's the first thing you have to worry about. Um, Now, in terms of a competitive score, and like I said, it depends on the district. My personal score was a 1570. Now, does that mean that everybody has to get above like 1500 to get in? No. I know many people that go to NCSSM that did not get above 1500 on the SAT. So don't think that just because you don't have that, that perfect SAT score, that your chances of getting into SSM are like gone, because that's nowhere near the case. Um, Standardized test scores, they're a thing. Obviously, they do have a little bit of importance, but they're the majority of the importance into acceptance into the school is based off of your essays and your accomplishments. So that's what I'd like to get out of it.
I think one important thing to note is like it doesn't matter how much above your like district average you are. They're I mean they're really just looking at it as for like, for a comparative measure. I have friends who, had, relative to some of my other friends lower scores, and they all got in. It's you know it's they're not going to be like, oh, okay, she has a 1510, we're going to give her more points in the standardized test category than this person who had a 1470. It's not like that. They're going to say, okay, county average for their school is a 1350, this girl is a 1470, she checks this box. And that's kind of how it works in terms of when a good time to take the SAT is. I believe the last, on a normal application cycle, the last test scores that they would accept would be the December SAT before your application is due and the February ACT. Um, I would not recommend waiting until that point unless you know, are very confident in your standardized test taking abilities, or you have a tutor and your tutor says, maybe we should wait until December. I would say I took mine for the first time in that October before my application was due, and then I took it again that December. And that timeline worked well for me because I was able to go in once, take it, kind of get accustomed to the test a little bit, and then take it again and do a little bit better. But if you're not comfortable waiting that long, then you don't have to wait that long. Ninth graders, you can definitely, by all means, go take it this summer just to see how you're doing. And I would also recommend taking both the SAT and the ACT because they're very different tests. And depending on what type of thinker and what type of learner you are, you might do better on one than the other. I personally am an SAT person through and through. I don't like the ACT, but I have a lot of friends who like the ACT way better. So it just depends on who you are. I would definitely say try it before that last test date that they accept.
Yeah, just to build off of what said, I took it my freshman year, just to like kind of get used to the get used to and this is for like middle school and freshman people. Um, but like I took it my freshman year just to get used to the test and just like see, oh, this is what I'm going for. Because I think at that point I hadn't taken the pre SAT, but taking like the pre SAT, the pre ACT, whatever your school offers is awesome, and it's a good opportunity to get used to like the standardized testing in general. Um, I do like I did take it like a couple of times, and I found that like different like very much so the tests work differently. But you do want to make sure that you have some sort of studying, like, because that's the only way that you're going to improve. They actually do super score. So like if you did better on one like on a math section on your second time, but you didn't do as good on your English the first time, like that kind of thing, they'll take the best of the section. So they'll take your best of your English, they'll take the best of your math. And yeah, definitely study a little bit. I actually have some books that I can recommend if people like that. I don't know. But I have this. This is like something that's based on like you take the test once and then there's like a series of books. I did like a couple of these days and like tried to keep up with it. Tried to keep up with it. And then there's also another one that they come out with every year, so it's called Up Your Score. I used this more for like the English section part of it, and this helped a lot. But also like again, make sure you're paying attention in English with the grammar sections. That can really boost your English score and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, I think like unless you did really, really well with your first test, don't try taking it again if you are capable of doing that, because I know that like financial stuff is weird. But they do, if I remember correctly, under a normal cycle, they take it from the June of before your sophomore year to that February that Uma had said. So you have plenty of time or plenty of opportunities to do it. And the way that you do it is you like, whenever you want to try to send your scores to NCSSM, instead of sending it to like a college, you'll get like the NCSSM code. Oh yeah, someone said to show the book name. This is Up Your Score. It's like they call it like the underground guide to improving your test. And this one I highly recommend is this one. This is like the 600 to 800 level, but if somebody needs to like take a screenshot, I apologize. I'll try to hold it there. Okay, awesome. And I'll type those in the chat so people can use that too to like Amazon it. But and also, again, it's just trying to check a box to see if you're on par because it's compared to the seniors of your high school. So I've talked a lot.
Yeah, sorry, if I can just add one more thing. For me, I did not plan on applying to NCSM until around September or October of my sophomore year. So I only had a few test dates where I could take the standardized testing. Obviously, sophomores don't have to worry about that. But for me, I chose to take the December SAT because I had that Thanksgiving break at my school. My school had around like a week of Thanksgiving break, which is, I think, more than the usual. But you also want to make sure that you plan your testing date around a day that does not conflict with any big events or anything like that. And you want to leave time to study for the SAT or the ACC. So that's why I chose that day. But I know people that took it on the February ACT, and I will say it was very stressful for them because after you take it that day, there's nothing else to do. But sophomores, don't sweat at all about this. And freshmen and eighth graders, they might also be test optional in the coming years. So don't worry about it until they come out with a statement. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And piggybacking off of what Caroline said about like recommended books. I know I'm like not a panelist, but I recommend the SAT reading and SAT writing from Erica Meltzer. They like increased my score by like 300 points. So